back and you're listening to the Metal Magdalene with Jet here on Metal Messiah Radio. Tonight is our Sick Drummer Brutal Beatings compilation special for volume number 18. And tonight we're featuring all the music off the compilation plus some interviews from some of the bands on the compilation. And right now I have with us Sick Drummer Bob Beaulac, the drummer for Skinless. Welcome to the show, Bob.
How you doing?
I am
glad to be here.
I'm doing great, and we're happy to have you. Okay, so Bob, what was it that sparked your interest in drums and got you into drumming?
I used to be in band in grade school, and I played clarinet because I wanted to play saxophone. So they told me I had to start on a clarinet. And so I did that for like 2 years, and you sit around, you're around a lot of the guys on the drums and stuff like that, and it was always fun. I always wanted to try it, so I ended up trying it. And that kind of, it's weird, wanting to play the saxophone got me into playing drums.
And then
if you can believe that.
Yeah, hey, this could have been weirder, I guess.
Yeah, just being around everybody in band and watching some of the drummers, I kind of got interested in it, and then I remember my friend down the street, like somebody moved out of the house and they left like 3 drums, like a bass drum and a tom and a snare, and he sold them to me. And I just started banging on them and took it from there,
And so when did you start joining in bands? Like, did you have like a neighborhood band and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, everybody had bands they used to play with, and when you start playing, you always hook up with some other people that play and you try to do stuff like that. And that was probably, I don't know, the first one I remember playing in one when I was like 12 or 13.
Whoa.
Yeah. I played like my first out-of-town show when I was like 15.
Wow. And what kind of band was
Syracuse University we played at.
Wow. Wow, that's a nice place. And what kind of band was it? What kind of music did you play?
It was like a hardcore band. We were I remember, we were just like a basic New York hardcore band because that was big at the time,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got a good dose of metal when I was a kid, but then I got a good dose of nothing but hardcore bands for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That was what the scene was around here. And, we were like kind of like straight edge metal almost without being straight edge.
So who were some of your early influences then?
I really liked Van Halen when I was younger. You know what I mean? I was like 9, 10. Van Halen, like AC/DC, Zeppelin, Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff I don't want to say stuff that's easy on drums, but stuff that I could play to.
Sure.
Was another thing, like AC/DC, got into a lot of stuff like that. Matter of fact, like AC/DC was like one of the first albums I bought.
Huh.
It was Dirty Deeds. It was like the first album I bought on cassette. No matter,
Oh my God. So tell us how you became involved with Skinless.
Well, I was playing in another band at the time called Disciples of Berkowitz, and we used to play a lot of shows together because we were like kind of the only bands that were doing that kind of thing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We were like a metal band in a hardcore world up here in good old upstate New York, and we kind of started playing shows together, and then we started trying to get other bands like Internal Bleeding up from the city and stuff like that, and we all ended up playing around a lot, and they had an opening in the drummer, and I was like, why not? I'll do both.
And you did, right? So you did both bands.
Both of them for a couple years.
Now, are you still? I mean, is Disciples of Berkowitz still together?
We are actually currently practicing now to do a reunion show when we do our yearly show up here in New York, up in upstate. We usually do a show around the Albany area, and we try to keep it like the old scene.
Mm-hmm.
And, we try to dig up old bands that played around here that haven't done nothing in a long time. You know what I mean? So it's more of like an event than it's just a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like that's going to be fun then.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's coming. We're probably shooting for around September, October for that. But we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna end up playing double duty again for the first time in a while.
Oh, but that'll be fun. That'll be fun though. Now, hey, so Skinless splits up, all right? Then reforms in 2013. Then you release a new album, the first album from you guys in like 9 years. Now, with this album, how did you go about writing your parts, and what did you as the drummer want to bring to this album?
I kind of tried to, like, the last few years, I kind of been streamlining my sets down to, like, 4 pieces. Mm-hmm. And just going the less is more approach with, you know, with a little bit of finesse. Mm-hmm. And, of course, you know, a whole lot of brutality. You know what I mean? Trying to keep it heavy and just trying to come at it from different angles. You know what I mean? That, like, stuff that we don't normally do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, like, this is the first Skinless album with guitar solos in it. Mm-hmm. There was some in some of the other albums, but very little. So we're trying to, no, I wouldn't say reinvent ourselves, but try to, you know, keep it new. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Sure, and
trying to stick with the old stuff, but make it better.
Right, and you know, it's been a while, you know, and you guys have all gone through all whatever your life's perils were in the past 9 years. To come back, it's kind of, I mean, was it a little more fresh to come back, you know? I don't know. I actually, you know, it felt good. Yeah.
Coming back, you know, and playing, and then, you know, playing together again. We never really had any, you know, none of us ever didn't get along. We always all got along. I think that was the key to us being together for as long as we were. Mm-hmm. Nobody really had an argument with anybody, and I think when we did break up, it was a mutual thing. We all kind of were like, yeah, you know, let's just put this down for a little while, and then we'll wait and see what happens. And, you know, then we just started talking to each other again, and next thing you know, bang, we got another album, and we're doing shows again.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, you're doing shows. I mean, last year you did all kinds of stuff. I mean, you were playing festivals and shows and touring all over the place. What do you got going on for this year?
Not much yet. Joe's got another bundle of joy on the way coming up, and it's going to be hard to work around that. And I can relate to coming from that. You know, I stepped out for a little while when I had my son, and we're going to take it as it comes this year.
Well, you did quite a bit of touring and playing shows last year, so it's not like you have been, you know, absent from the scene at all.
Yeah.
So what kind of...
We did some good festivals last year, and every one of them shows that we played last year was actually really...
Well, weren't you at a Maryland Death Fest last year?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I think we did...
Hellfest.
What was it? Hellfest. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That one was really, really good.
Yeah, so it's not like you guys haven't been doing anything. You know, you could have a little bit of a rest here.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of a rest. Well, you don't want to rest too long.
No. And so what kind of kit are you currently using?
Right now, I have it's actually not a newer kit. It's an older Mapex Orion Classic right now I got. Mm-hmm. And I got a 220 by 20 bass drums, and I'm using 12, 14, 16 rack toms.
This is your scaled down set.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's one less drum. It's one less drum than I used to use, but I went with smaller bass drums, I think, you know, because the bigger the bass drums, the higher up your toms are. Mm-hmm. You can't get them that low, so I tried to go down a little bit smaller so I had a little bit more room, and it's actually worked out nicely.
Well, there you go. Now, do you have any endorsements or anything?
I was endorsed by Trexas Cymbals, but I believe that is now defunct. Something went on, and they ended up getting bought out by another company or something like that, but I think that's all over with. So currently, right now, I am by myself.
Well, that's okay. So here you guys are, you know, on the compilation. So first of all, you know, congratulations on being on the compilation. I mean, you are Brutal Beatings drummer over there, so...
That's awesome.
And, you know, people could learn more about Skinless at their official Facebook page, and, of course, hear them along with all the other Brutal offerings on the Sick Drummer Magazine compilation. Bob, thank you so much for taking the time out to do this with us tonight, and all the best to you and the band.
Thank you. It's been great, and hope to see some people out at shows and have a good time and see some metal.